September 2025. I would like to welcome you all, also welcome the members of staff, as well as the members of the public that have joined through various live streaming platforms to follow today's discussions. I would like to introduce the members of the energy regulator that are going to be part of the deliberations in today's meeting. Starting with myself, my name is Nomfundo Maseti. I am the member primarily responsible for piped gas and chairing other committees of the energy regulator. With me today, I am joined by the chairperson of the National Energy Regulator, Mr. Tembani Pukula. I would like the chairperson of the regulator to introduce himself. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maseti. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the intro, Ms. Maseti.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pukula. Next, I would like to introduce the chairperson of the Petroleum Pipeline Subcommittee, and also the member of this subcommittee, as well as other subcommittees of the energy regulator, Mr. Musuvukile Mkhize. Mr. Mkhize.
Good morning, Chairperson, members of the PGS, management of NERSA, as well as the members of the public that are following us through the various live streaming platforms. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I would like to now introduce the CEO of NERSA and also the member of this committee and participating in other committees of the energy regulator, Ms. Nomalanga Sithole. Advocate Sithole.
Good morning, Chairperson, members of NERSA personnel, and everyone that has joined us for this particular meeting this morning. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. I would like to now introduce Ms. Precious Sibiya, who is the member of the Pipe Gas Subcommittee, as well as the chairperson of the Audit and Risk Committee of the Energy Regulator. Madam Sibiya.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning to NERSA colleagues, and also good morning to the members of the public joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Sibiya. I would like to turn to the adoption of the agenda, members. We have the proposed agenda. I would like to check if members are happy to approve the agenda for today by raising your hands, members. Thank you, Mr. Pukula. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Madam Sibiya. I also support. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. Thank you very much, members. The agenda has now been adopted. Next, I would like members to remind them about the declaration of interest. The forms have been uploaded on the convene. If you can kindly remember to complete the forms, submit them to the secretary of this committee. But if there is a verbal declaration, I would like to give members the opportunity to raise your declaration, to declare your interest. There's none. Thank you, members. Okay, we then proceed, members, to the consideration of the submissions that need to be decided upon today. I just got disturbed by the note. My apologies, members, just to indicate that item number 8, as well as just the changes from the on the agenda that was published. Item number 8, as well as item number 13, are the two items that will be discussed under governance. So we will discuss them under governance. Item 13, as well as item number 8. Mr. Dlamini, if you can kindly remind me when we get to that point. If you can kindly note that, members, those are matters under governance. Then we introduce item number 5. It is the closeout investigation report on the incident, that a fire incident that occurred at one of the distribution facilities owned by Sasol Gas in Pretoria. Please introduce the submission.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you, the members and the colleagues. Chair, I will take the report as read and be brief in my presentation. The report before you is a closeout report on the investigation conducted in terms of Section 4D into the fire incident on Sasol Gas distribution pipeline in Pretoria West. Chair, the sequence of events are as follows. On the 20th of August 2024, a municipal contractor carried out excavation work directly above the pipeline without way leave or notification to the licensee. That excavation damaged the pipeline and the gas leaked undetected for approximately 20 hours. On the 21st of August 2024, the escaping gas ignited, likely due to the electrical power lines that are overhead the pipeline, resulting into the major fire, the property destruction, precautionary evacuation, and some local supply interruption. The investigation has established that the immediate trigger was a third-party interference due to municipal work, and however, during the incident, the escalation of the incident was because of many layers of protection that did not function as intended. The detection of gas leak was reliant on scheduled inspection, which created a gap between the time of damage and its discovery. And then when that leak was eventually detected, the technical response team that arrived on site, they arrived with incorrect tools, which caused further delays. Ultimately, several isolation valves in the protection system failed to seal as required. Chair, Sasol Gas conducted routine inspections and carried out regular maintenance on the isolation valve in line with its maintenance program. And furthermore, they activated its emergency procedures and coordinated with emergency services, which constitute procedural compliance with its license condition. However, the investigation identified clear operational shortfalls. The leak remained undetected for 20 hours, as I stated earlier, due to the absence of active leak detection system. And when it was eventually detected, the responding technicians arrived on site with incompatible tools and wrong spanners. And then when the correct tools were eventually brought in, the isolation valve failed to seal. Additionally, inspection records show recurring items that were actioned, including overgrown vegetation, which were obstructing the access, reports of missing or damaged route markers that were not followed up, multiple instances of third-party excavation close to the pipeline, and the line tracer device, which was reported damaged in the previous incident, that was not replaced. Taken together, these deficiencies contributed to the prolonged release of the gas and the delay in isolating the pipeline and the extinguishing of the fire. Accordingly, we have outlined the corrective actions in paragraph 6.35 that Sasol must implement within the prescribed timelines in order to prevent similar incident. These will be enforced through NERSA's compliance monitoring processes. The corrective actions incorporate a more proactive approach and include a demonstrable valve integrity through functional proof test, closure evidence for actioned items, strengthening the municipal coordination and way leave enforcement, and improve detection of gas leak in high-risk urban areas to prevent reoccurrence. Chair, I will end there, and the report is before you for approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive introduction. Members, the report is before you regarding the incident that occurred and also the actions that were taken and how this should be avoided going forward. Any questions, members? Any guidance, especially because this is the second incident? Thank you. Madam Spear?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you to the team for the presentation. Just 2 comments from my side. The first one, the site visit observation or 4.10, you mentioned that when we, as NESA, went there to do a site inspection with Sasol already, and the department or the officials from the Department of Employment and Labor, already the equipment or the affected pipeline has already been removed. Doesn't that affect our investigation? Because my understanding is that you do not touch anything before the inspection is done, then thereafter. If you can confirm that for me. And then the second issue is the incident happened in August 2024, and there were actions that were supposed to be implemented. There is short-term, medium, and long-term. Chair, we are sitting now almost a year after it happened. So I'm just confirming with the team, because they were immediate, which is 0 to 6 months. Have they reported on them? Have we gone back to see if those have been implemented, and what is the status on the other ones, which are the medium term or the long term? Is there a process of monitoring these things, especially, Chair, the immediate ones, which is the 0 to 6 months? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Spear. Mr. Mkiza?
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks to Zondo for the presentation. Whilst we appreciate this presentation, just want to point out a few issues that I think will assist in terms of improvements in no specific order per se. I think under 4.2, where that last sentence there which says on arrival they made the strategy, maybe just to say the tactical instead of strategy, the tactical decision. And also under 4.3, that figure says figures 5 to 8. I was a bit confused starting from there. But now I see that it was not figure 5, so maybe to say figures 5 to figure to 8 to write it out, because it was confusing to me. And then when reporting on such a matter, I think it is important to maintain a simple way of writing, to say so and so did this at this time, where, for example, under 4.4, you say, however, less than 4 hours later, at approximately 2:30 p.m., municipal contractors mobilized to remove illegally dumped waste material along the Rebecca Street, began excavating directly over and adjacent to the pipeline. Who observed this, or who saw them do this? I think it should be very clear. The same with 4.6, where you say by the contractor ceased operation and departed the site at around 3:55 p.m., by which time the pipeline had already sustained damage. Who attests to this? Because we're not there. And I think that if it is someone who said that, let it be clear. And then we can then make a conclusion on the basis of someone having said this as an eyewitness or with some kind of proven information that this really happened, because this one now happening on the 20th of August. I think it's important to have that. And I think the same would apply to damage. They also say under 4.7, right? There was damage prior to this. I think it's important to write as to when, so that when was this instrument or tool, the line tracer device, damaged, so that one can get a feel of how long they took to fix such an important tool, in terms of their diligence in dealing with such matters. And the figure 2, I think it's also important to kind of date stamp. I'm saying this because in previous reports they stamped these pictures so that one can really see how long after the incident or the accident these photos were taken. And then under 4.8, we talk of several isolation valves. I mean, it helps maybe just to state how many, if there are, in terms of the system, because I don't think that in isolation valves you have lots and lots of them. So it gives an impression that there are lots and lots of them. So if you can just be able to state that, it will help. And I am a bit on page 6. You say a verification of whether any notification was submitted for the incident remains outstanding. And my question is, what are we doing or are we supposed to do about this lack of notification from a compliance monitoring and enforcement perspective? And then on the site visit, I'm a bit confused there. The accident was reported to NERSA on 23rd of August, but NERSA did a site visit on the 2nd of August under 4.10. It's a bit confusing to me when it comes to that. And then proceeding to page 11, you under 6.5, there's just this emphasis on reliance on information coming from Sasol. Yes, I would like to know about the collaboration with the Department of Employment and Labor. What about that? Because we've always highlighted the issue of collaboration with other institutions and authorities. And I think that, for me, is important. And lastly, I would then say that looking at this report, having been a policy maker myself in my previous life, I think it's very important to have engagements with the policy making department in respect of such incident, because they just to provide some insights that help and go a long way into dealing with such in terms of the policies and laws, that they are alive to such, and then and also to ensure that we keep them abreast of what is happening as the first line of policy implementation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Please, let me go to Mr. Pugula. Mr. Pugula.
Thank you, Chairperson. I've been covered largely by the colleagues and the line of enhancement around the submission. For me, 6.5 also probably needs to be just massaged, because we have in the on 6.3 said that Sasol submitted all of the information, and we are saying that it was all fine. But on 6.5, we then say that the process is limited to what Sasol has given. So I don't know what we are trying to say there, but maybe we can just rewrite it to to assist, because we had said that they'd given us the information. So if you're saying it's a challenge because it's what they've given us, then it doesn't sound okay. But I've been covered by Mr. Mkiza and Ms. Sibia on the other questions and other enhancements. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pukula. Mr. Mkiza, I see your hand is up, or is it?
Yes, it just that under 6.5, other thing that I'm concerned about, what does government, because there's government involved here in the sense of it being the municipality, so on the municipality they're featuring. What are they, what is the role then? What are they doing in terms of collaborating with the regulator, or as well as I said it in the same vein with the Department of Employment and Labor, and I'm also concerned that the contractor who apparently was doing the excavation that led to this accident remains nameless and faceless. I think there's something should be done around that. We should be able to, to call out people that are in this kind of a situation, because the people should respect issues of servitudes and way leave, especially from a government stance. And then to also ensure that we are also conscious of the time it takes. It's almost a year after this accident, and you see the accident also. I think we highlighted the issue when we're looking at the feedback, because it happened in August. It then went to the FTRM in December in terms of giving a go ahead. And I'm not saying we should be harp around this issue, but just the team should just be conscious of the time, and also it takes to do this and conclude them, and also to just indicate if there are any improvements that they are making around that issue, noting that these accidents will vary from one to another in terms of complexity and the ease of handling them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkiza. Please, some of the comments are for enhancement purposes. You need to acknowledge that, but please clarify the other questions.
Chairperson, maybe let me quickly start. I'm not sure whether Mr. Tierney is going to come in. First, on the questions raised by Ms. Sibia regarding the visit that was done, and I think the question was whether the pipeline had been removed and whether that would not be sort of interference with the investigation that is conducted by the team. Usually what that was done in the event of a gas leak is that they isolate that part of the pipeline so that they can attend to basically sealing that part in relation to repairing the leak, because we know that gas is a combustible substance. So they had to basically move swiftly to ensure that that damage is sealed. But they don't necessarily remove the whole pipeline, so we can rephrase that so that is within the right context. And then in terms of the action done, particularly with regard to the short-term steps that are recommended to be taken by the licensee, they have taken those, particularly under the short-term column. The ones that they are still in the process of implementing would be the mid-term rather, as well as the long-term steps. And Ms. Bia also wanted to find out how we're going to monitor that. We do have, Ms. Bia, regular compliance inspections that we conduct on these facilities and others, just to see how they are being operated. And also during that time, we are going to then basically pay attention or focus on this to see how they are doing with regard to implementing some of those remedial actions. And then proceeding quickly to Mr. Mkiza's, I think, enhancements. Those are really enhancements in the main. And I think with regard to the number of valves that were affected,
I think we counted about 5 of those valves, Mr. Mkhize, and I think we can just effect that, state that on the submission as an enhancement. And on the issue of the collaboration, yes, we did, as we had previously agreed, we do collaborate with the other role players, such as local government, as well as the Department of Labor. That is why you might see in the submission that even the visit that was paid to the site included officials from the Department of Labor. And the municipality, the Tshwane municipality, in terms of collaboration, was also involved. And in fact, they have been in discussion with the customer that or the private individual whose workshop was sort of affected in the process with regard to effecting remedial steps and basically maybe compensation payment to that particular individual. But we are constantly in touch with them just to see how they're resolving that matter. And then proceeding to Mr. Pugula's enhancements, I think those will affect the enhancement under paragraph 6.5. And just to make sure that it's aligned with what you stated under paragraph 6.3. Chairperson, I think those are in a nutshell the type of enhancements that we'll be doing. Chairperson, I think I'll stop there. I don't know if Mr. Mtiani has anything to add.
Thank you very much. What does the government do in these incidents? There was a question from Mr. Mkhize with regards to that, as well as the earlier incident that happened, which is not stated. What happens on page 6, lack of notification about the previous incident. There's no response to that. Can we please get responses? Mr. Pugula, you wanted to come in. Mr. Pugula, your mic is on. Okay. Let's
Apologies, Chair.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Pugula. Can you please respond to those, and also indicate on the one from Madam Spear that there's usually a submission that lists all of the actions that arise from incidents, those actions where there are timelines by when the incidents will be addressed, or the measures that the licensee committed to address. There's always a submission that lists all of that, and it does come to the subcommittee, including those incidents that are identified during compliance inspections. So they're all combined, and then there's feedback with regards to the progress of whether or not those incidents have been addressed and how many are now remaining. So, Madam Spear, then that is the monitoring that then happens with regards to the measures that the licensee has undertook to implement when there are certain incidents that were identified by the energy regulator. Can you please deal with those two issues? And who attested to the actions that were taken, where you indicate that this has happened, this was removed, this was isolated and stuff like that. Can you please deal with that quickly?
Thank you, Chair. With regards to who saw the incident and who reported all these events that we've mentioned here, I think what I want to emphasize is that the information that Sasol obtained, they obtained it directly from the municipality. So the sequence of events in terms of when was the contractor on site, what time did they leave the site, and so forth. That information was obtained by Sasol directly from the municipality. And in addition to that, the Sasol also obtained the surveillance footage from the nearby business, which further corroborated what the municipality stated. And then in terms of the other incident that happened in March, we are engaging Sasol on that one. We have checked on our side, and then we've concluded that it was not we were not notified of that incident, but we are engaging Sasol. And then if it needs to be investigated, it'll be something that will be done as a separate investigation. But we are engaging Sasol and to get clarity on what happened and why it was not reported as it should have been. Thank you, Chair.
But the issue of investigation would not be required. All you need to report to the committee is whether that incident was addressed. I think that is important because that is something that is part of the license conditions in terms of ensuring the integrity of the infrastructure. So if then there was an incident, the nature of that incident, as you have talked about it on the submission, so if that incident was already attended to, then it ends there. But I think Sasol will then have to be told about the lack of notifying the energy regulator. Reason being that the nature of our enforcement is such that we issue a notice of non-compliance with the view of remedying that non-compliance. So if then that non-compliance has already been remedied, there is no point in pursuing the matter or investigating it. But what is important is in informing Sasol that they have to inform the energy regulator about it.
Yes, you're correct, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And I think the other thing, our legislation also fails us because now this is a repeat of this incident, and we can't also deal with anything that has happened because every time that something happens, we have to first issue a notice of non-compliance, tell them that you need to remedy this, give them a time period within which they have to remedy the situation. Thereafter, if they fail, we then take an action. So we always have to do it that way. And unfortunately, it does not really give us effective ways of discouraging certain conduct in the market. Thank you very much. Members, if there's no other questions, I would like then to take the members to the decision that is sought. And all of the other enhancements will be Mr. Mkhize.
Yes, I don't want to delay the meeting, Chairperson. I think just to emphasize that I need to be able to say who reported what to whom, because they must also try to get first-hand information in terms of the information that goes to them via Sasol from the municipality, when they can also engage the municipality directly to get that information or verify that information. And the other issue of the date, they seem to be there before the reporting. Just to make it clear to the reader. That is just all from my side. I don't want to delay the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Tim, if you can make sure that the names are put in there so that we know those that reported and captured the information. If you can kindly do that, and as well as the a verification of the dates to make sure that they are the correct dates, because they are not stamped the pictures when they were taken. If you can kindly make sure that that is taken care of. With that, members, as well as the other enhancements in the 6.5, 4.6, and the other words that must be used. With all of that, members happy to approve the what you call the findings, as well as to take note of the measures that that Sasol needs to implement as corrective actions for the incident that happened. By show of hands, members. Thank you, Madam Spear. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Mr. Pukula. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. I also support members. Thank you very much, members, for the decision. We're moving on to item number 6, which is on the monitoring of compliance by Novo Energy with regards to the maximum price that was approved by the energy regulator. Please take the matter as read.
Thank you, Chairperson. I will take the submission as read, Chair. Before members is a report on the monitoring of Novo Energy's compliance with the approved maximum price of gas for the period starting from 1 July 2024 up until 30 June 2025. Chair, the purpose of the report is to request approval from the PGS Subcommittee. The report aims to assess and monitor Novo Energy's compliance with the approved maximum price of gas in line with Section 21(1)(p) as well as Section 22 of the Gas Act. In terms of monitoring Novo's compliance with Section 21(1)(p) of the Gas Act, Table 2 assesses Novo's compliance, and it demonstrates that Novo Energy has indeed complied with Section 21(1)(p) of the Gas Act by offering all its customer actual prices that are lower than the previously approved maximum price, as well as the currently approved maximum gas price for the period under review starting from 1 July 2024 up until 30 June 2025. Chairperson, in terms of assessing Novo's compliance with Section 22 of the Gas Act, Section 22 of the Gas Act provides licensee may not discriminate between customer or classes of customers regarding access, tariff, pricing, condition, and service unless it is objectively justified. And Novo identified a number of differentiating factors used, which are in line and share with Section 22 of the Gas Act, and these are listed under Section 4,19 of the submission. I would like to draw members' attention again to Table 3, which look at gas volumes consumption in relation to the price that was charged by Novo per customer over the period under review. And it is important for members to know that here we are looking at one factor, which is gas volumes. The analysis of the information in the table shows that customers that consume large volumes of gas were mainly charged relatively lower prices, while customers that consume lower gas volumes were mainly amongst those who were charged higher prices. But Chairperson, however, it must be noted that there were instances that were noted where higher volume customers were charged considerably higher prices, and some low volume customers were charged relatively lower prices. This was inquired with Novo Energy, and they have indicated that their price differ because they source gas from 3 different production facilities, and each with its own supply contracts and gas supply. And as such, the gas acquisition cost varies across these facilities. And Chair, based on the information and the assessment of Novo's compliance with Section 22, it is evident that Novo does not engage in any unfair discrimination amongst its customer for this period under review, and therefore comply with Section 22 of the Gas Act. Chairperson, the recommendation are on page 10 of the submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that introduction. Members, any questions of clarification? By show of hands, members, if you do have. Advocate Sithole.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thanks to the presenter. Chair, mine is one of clarity. I think it's the point that was touched at the end in terms of the charges, which was said that those customers that are consuming high volumes were charged lower prices. I think it's 4.21, and those that consume low were being charged higher prices. So I just wanted to check with the team whether, and when you go to 4.22, it says that some who were consuming high were charged high, and those consuming low were charged low. And the reasons for that is that they're getting the gas from different sources. I just wanted to check with the team because I didn't pick up this clarification as to whether do they deem that reason by the licensee to be justifiable to really end up with such prices that are not really aligned. I would have thought that there would be consistency in terms of saying those that are consuming high volumes will remain with lower prices and those with low would remain with high. But does the source of gas really allow them to do what is stated in 4.2 and that the team is happy with that particular reason from the licensing? Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Advocate Sithole. May you please respond to the question?
Thank you, Chairperson. I will respond to the question. Chair, our methodology allows that the licensees pass through the cost of gas acquisition to the customers. And you will recall that in terms of how the Novo was licensed, it does receive gas from 3 suppliers. And what happens is that when the cost of gas that is charged by the supplier to the licensee, that cost of gas then gets to be passed through to the customers. Now, what we've also picked up is that there are other differentiating features which makes the price, the actual price differs from one customer to another. For example, the transportation cost, that is it's measured by the distance from where the Novo is to the customers. The other differentiating features which made a difference in the price is the length of contract and what they also called the condition of service. So we have investigated and we realized that indeed they are compliant, and we are also the paragraph 4.22, it is in compliance with the methodology, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, but some of that explanation to then say, out of this reason that is provided by Novo, what have you independently verified? I think that's what Advocate Sithole is saying, so that you can put it here to show that the explanation that is provided is reasonable and it is justified. So we needed something like that. I think that's what you should have indicated there, if you can enhance it in that regard.
Okay. Do so, Chairperson. We will enhance and then forward the additional information to RSU for circulation.
Okay, no, that's that is fine. You dealt with it a little bit under paragraph 4.2.2, sorry, 4.22, but you did not indicate how this then justifies the differential, the price differential. You just touched on it on the last sentence, but you need to then just expand to link it back to the price differential to show why it is justified or reasonable, if you can do it like that. With that, Advocate Sithole, are you happy with that explanation? And
Chairperson, I'm fine with that, and as well as your addition. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, members, the decision that is sought is on paragraph 14. The Pipe Gas Subcommittee is requested to approve that Novo has complied with section 2021(1)P, as it did not charge a price that is higher than what NERSA approved. And secondly, that Novo complied with section 22, as it did not unduly discriminate between its customers. Members, by show of hands, if you are in agreement with that. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Madam Spear. Thank you, Mr. Pukula. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. I also support it. Thank you very much, members. Members, we are now on item number 7, the annual report that summarizes the observations in the global gas industry for 2025. Please introduce the submission.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the report highlights observations from the global gas industry. Gas industry bodies, such as the International Gas Union, publish annual reports on the wholesale gas prices, on the state of the LNG industry, and there are also statistics on who's consuming what levels of gas and where. These reports are publicly available, Chair, and we have made an attempt to try and not reproduce most of the information that's already in these reports, but to only suss out information to bring out the observations that would like the committee to note today, Chair. For instance, we see that there are more, excuse me, Chair, the world has more regasification facilities which outstrip the liquefaction facilities. Like regasification facilities are actually double the liquefaction facilities. In a sense, we could say demand is outstripping the supply, and that this market is really a supplier's market at the moment. I think as more suppliers come on board, such as Mozambique, and they ramp up their supply volume, we will see the market developing a further share. 74% of gas that is consumed in the world is, so each country would produce and consume its gas, meaning 74% of the gas that is consumed is from domestic production. Chair, the other point to note is that LNG will be procured at higher prices than the current supply. And at the moment, we are seeing that prices of LNG are almost 300% higher than the current prices that we are seeing in the market. This reality, Chair, is likely going to impact us in about 4 years when it is reported that the gas that we currently have would have reached its life. Chair, would like the committee to note some of these observations in the gas industry, Chair. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kotora. Members, any comments, any areas of guidance from the submission? If not, Mr. Mkhize.
Thanks, Chairperson, and thanks to Mr. Kotora for the presentation. Again, I think this is a document that is worth engaging with policymakers as well as with RAR, because I think part of it should find its way in terms of our environmental analysis or situational analysis. Just on the figure there, if you can just assist under page 3, just to include the figure number there. And then I note the issue of the trend under 6.2. I just want to check if the trend is also the same with new production. Because you're talking of more use, 74% use domestically and 14% that is important via pipelines, with 12% as LNG. With the new developments, is the trend remaining the same or not, or there is a marked change to that? I'm not so sure under 6.13 whether we still call it the Cape of Good Hope or it is the Cape, noting some other people holding on to maybe old ways of looking at things. And then under 6.16, has a study been done, like Operation Pakisa in terms of the pipeline network? Just want to check with you on this, to look at the issue of gas from the fields of Maputo vis-a-vis using the Zululand Energy Terminal at Richards Bay in terms of maybe reversing the flow. I just wanted to check if such a study has been done. But thanks for the good report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkhize. Mr. Kotoro, some of them are just for enhancements, and if you can acknowledge that, just provide clarification on one or two.
Thank you, Chair. And yes, thank you, Mr. Mkhize, and we'll try to enhance the document with some of the submissions you have provided us, and we'll share it with RAR. On the new developments, Chair, I think what we are seeing is that maybe in Africa or developments that are occurring in Africa, most of the gas that is being developed is for export. But the statistics that are published, they sum the entire world consumption. But when we then zoom in on the few markets that we have interest, such as the Mozambique, you'd find, I think most of the LNG that they're starting to produce is entirely for the export market. But the statistics themselves, Chair, do not disaggregate between each market to show what is the trend. But I think it's an interesting addition that we have to keep track of to see if that is the norm that going forward, Chair. Chair, I'm not aware of a study that has been done to compare Maputo versus the Richards Bay terminal in terms of bringing in LNG. It appears from my knowledge, Chair, as though different parties are proceeding with their own solutions. And I think coordination has always been an issue we have highlighted, saying there needs to be some form of coordination to ensure that there's a consolidated effort on one of the solutions. From my knowledge, it seems we are not well coordinated on this front. But I will also maybe allow some of the colleagues, if they have any other knowledge other than that, to come in, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I think these are some of the comments that I picked up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kotoro. I think for the Mozambicans one, I think that is within Mozambique for LNG is coordinated through one sort of a company that on the Mozambican ones, but I'm also not aware about the Richards Bay one, how it is done. I'm sure it's something that will still develop as time goes on. Also in other regions, it is still an issue to find some convergence. And these are the things that we also that were touched on during the World Gas Congress that took place in May, June of this year in Beijing. When we look at the different regional markets and to check issues of convergence, even in terms of price, that is still a challenge. But so I think that's an important observation, Mr. Kotoro, that you made with regards to issues of coordination and also issues of convergence, maybe also with the price. All right, with that, Mr. Mkhize, any other question or sort of clarification? Are you covered?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the response, Mr. Kotoro. I just want to also maybe request to the team that, Mr. Kotoro, you consider just looking at page 26, under 5.6 until 5.10, where you're talking of SA versus international gas prices. If you may expand on that, maybe under the auspices of the capacity building steering committee, you can look at a presentation maybe in the workshop. Because I think for me, it's important to have a price path or kind of be forward looking so that we are able to discuss these things without being pressurized to come up with maybe a revised methodology or some changes to be in sync with the developments. That whole section, I think it is a long discussion on its own, and you need to be able to assist in terms of us being very clear as to where are we going, what are the changes that are going to come, especially post the gas cliff could imply. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kotoro. If you can just take note of that, I think it's something that we still need to, because there's going to be a lot of issues again with the pricing, even in Richards Bay. How is it going to be done and all of that? And obviously the financiers and developers and all of that. So it's something that maybe you may observe and maybe check with the relevant stakeholders. And also just so that we can understand and also understand the role of the regulator there, so that we make sure that our methodology will be in sync with what the investors are expecting from the regulator and also for their returns. I think that's the importance of it from our side. If you can also just be close to what is happening there. I think that's what is important, but without pronouncing what the price is going to be, but just to understand the way that the consortium is going to work there, the financiers, and whether our methodology is ready to be able to accommodate innovative pricing mechanisms that might be considered by the investors. I think that is important, so that we can be able to facilitate investments into the country in this space. Thank you very much. With that, members, the recommendations on paragraph 14 are that the Pipe Gas Subcommittee is required to note the report on the observations in the global gas industry for 2025 is attached on Annexure A. By show of hands, members. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Madam Sbiya. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. I also support. And thank you, Mr. Pukula. Thank you very much, members, for the decision. Members, you'll recall that item 8 will be discussed under governance matters. So we are on item number 9. It is the monitoring of compliance with regards to SLG for the maximum price that was approved by the energy regulator for 2024-2025. Please introduce the submission without repeating the title. Get straight to the meat of the submission.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to the members. This is a submission for SLG's implementation of the monitoring of the approved maximum price for the period 1 July 2024 to 30 June 2025. This submission is here for approval. I would like to request the members of the PGS committee to approve that SLG complied with Section 21(1)(p) of the Gas Act, in that it charged its customers the prices that are equal or below the price that was approved. And then in terms of Section 22, SLG did comply because it did not unduly discriminate between its customers. On a quarterly basis, Table 1 shows the quarterly prices that were charged because they were adjusted. So Table 1 shows the prices that were charged. So the analysis focused on quarterly charges. So in terms of Section 21(1)(p), the Annexure 1 is attached to the submission to show the schedules and how the analysis went. And then Section 22 deals with the way the price was implemented in terms of its customers, that they were charged fairly and in compliance with Section 22, Chair. So in that, I would like to request the members to approve. The approval is on section, paragraph 14 of the submission. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for the introduction. Members, any questions of clarity on this submission? If not, members, I would like to take you to the recommendations on paragraph 14 again. The recommendations are that the subcommittee is requested to approve that SLG Pty Ltd, if you can add there, 14.11, that SLG Pty Ltd complied with section 21(1)(p) of the Gas Act, as it did not charge a price that is higher than the maximum price approved. And secondly, to approve that SLG Pty Ltd did not unduly discriminate between its customers by charging differential prices that are not justified. By a show of hands, members, if you are in agreement with the recommendations. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Madam Sbiya. Thank you, Mr. Pukula. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. I also support the decision. We're moving on, members, to item number 10, which is the Sasol Gas's monthly gas volume balance. This is for the gas that was delivered in Secunda in July 2025.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to the members, colleagues, and members of the public. The purpose of this submission is to request Pipe Gas Subcommittee to note Sasol Gas Volume Balance Report for the month of July 2025. During the month of July 2025, Sasol Gas imported approximately 14.1 million gigajoules of natural gas to the South African market. The percentage variance of July 2025 was negative 0.63, which is not within which is within the acceptable limit of the agreed international benchmark of 1%. It is recommended that the Pipe Gas Subcommittee to note Sasol Gas Volume Balance Report for the month of June 2025. Thank you.
Can you touch on the amounts that we always estimated for the month, to given the what we expect by the end of the year for this period? Can you comment on that, please, for the members' benefit? Because this is something that you need to observe given the gas cliff and the shortages on the allocations. Mr. Milatu.
Okay.
Mr. Milatu, are you in a meeting or busy with something else? The members are waiting for you.
Good morning, Chair. I'm here, Chair, and I've got a bout of flu, Chair. Excuse my voice, Chair. Yeah, on your question, you said we need to specify the amount of gas received to the South African market. So the GTA 1, 2, and 3 volumes are normally 13.4 million gigajoules a month, Chair. And if you add the other off-takers like Kwande and Kwande Gas, as well as Sasol South Africa, Chair, the expected volumes are 13.6 million gigajoules per year. So I think this month, Chair, what we got is around the same 13.6, Chair, which is in line with the expected volumes to the South African market, Chair. Thank you. So that includes the augmentation, Chair, from the PSA volumes. Thanks.
Yes, but for the three gas transportation agreements, we usually expect 160 5.8 million gigajoules for one, and also even the additional one for one because of the tariffs for those three. There's tariff for GTA 1, there's tariff of the gas transportation agreement for GTA, that is GTA 2 for the compressor station, and there's also a tariff for the loop line 2. So we expect for one company, we're monitoring Sasol in particular here for security of supply and with regards to clause 4 of the agreement. So for each of those, there's well spelled out in the two agreements, the pipeline agreement as well as the regulatory agreement on the volumes. So that's what we're monitoring here, those two clauses of those two agreements. So we need to just check now to see if, leave out Gwande, to see if the amounts that we're receiving on a monthly basis are in line. They're going to make up what we expect in each GTA for 120 and then also for the other GTAs.
Yeah, Chairperson, maybe just to quickly come in, we are indeed checking the amounts so that we can monitor them before we get to the end of the year, just to make sure that by the end of the year, indeed, we would have reached that 160 million gigajoules. And Chairperson, just to confirm again, you are correct in that the amount expected at the end of the year is 160 million gigajoules, and that is stated under paragraph number 5.2 of the submission. But so far, in terms of progress, it does look like we'll get to that point, by the end of the year. And of course, we will then advise the committee should we notice anything that might come in the way of that happening in terms of reaching that amount by the end of the year. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Yeah, just on record, that 5.2, as I indicated, it is only for Sasol. Once you add other importer on 5.8, there is a figure there for the other importer. So that's if then there are other people bringing gas to South Africa, as we licensed Petro SA, as we also licensed Gwande Gas. So should they also bring gas to South Africa, then it means that figure in paragraph 5.8 will increase, and it's a figure that is more than the figure that is in 5.2. So that becomes important for the committee to discharge its responsibilities of monitoring the gas volumes coming to South Africa. Mr. Bukula?
Thank you, Chair. My enhancement really would be on in fact, it's probably not an enhancement. If we look at the figure 1, I know we've got table 3 when we have that. When we look at figure 1, I think it's on page 12. We have a statement that just says that we can see that it's decreasing, that it illustrates the declining trend in the gas available. That figure, unless we change the scale, doesn't really depict that, unless we also show what it was before, that it was going over 120. So either we must change the scale so that it shows a decrease, or maybe not emphasize that it's decreasing, but because we know that it's going to decrease, but the figure doesn't really say that it's decreasing. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bukula. So if you can please attend to that, Mr. Milatu and Mr. Numalo, if you can please attend to that just to balance it off. We know that for a PPA, it is decreasing. However, when it comes to South Africa, that decrease is offset by the fact that we are getting that excess gas from the PSA. So it kind of counter the effect of the decrease. So then when it lands in South Africa, it kind of balances it off. So you must also take that into consideration, unless then you demonstrate that there is indeed a decrease that we are seeing. And I think there's also next time, just to emphasize, I know that the information is there on page 15, showing the trend in terms of the annuals that we received. in South Africa. With that, members, I would like then to take you to the recommendations. The recommendations are that the subcommittee is requested to note the gas volume balance for Sasol gas that has been brought to South Africa. We also included, I think there's strict changes that they didn't take care of. There's also a gas that was delivered by another importer in South Africa, apart from the one that Sasol Gas has delivered in South Africa. With that, members, may you please raise your hand to show support of the gas that landed in South Africa for the month of July 2025. Thank you, Mr. Mkiza. Thank you, Mr. Pugula. Thank you, Madam Sibia. Thank you, Advocate Sitole. I also support the decision as well. Members, we are now on item number, that was item number 11. Item number 11 is the monitoring of compliance in terms of the price that was charged by Kwande compared to the maximum price that was approved by the regulator. Please don't deal with the title, deal exactly with the essence and the rationale and what is the evidence before us for compliance.
Good morning, Chair, members and colleagues. With the understanding that the members and colleagues have already read through the report, I will give a high-level overview of Kwande Gas Monitoring Report. I will now move on to the main purpose of the report, or what the report seeks to achieve. The purpose of this report is to request the Pipe Gas Subcommittee to approve that Kwande Gas complied with Section 21, Subsection 1, Paragraph P of the Gas Act by charging its customers actual prices that are below the maximum prices during the period under review. And then on Section 2.2, we're saying that Kwande Gas has a single customer, and therefore Section 22 of the Gas Act is not applicable in the period under review. I will now move on to 4.8, the section that deals with the approved maximum price of gas for Kwande. So on 4.8, we're saying that on the 31st of January 2025, NERSA approved Kwande Gas maximum price for the period 1 July 2024 to 30 June 2025. The maximum price approved was 127.52 cents, as shown in Table 1. On 4.9, we're saying that as part of the monitoring requirement to ensure 100% compliance by Kwande Gas, NERSA requested and we received all the required information that was on the 19th of August 2025. So the information that we received included the pricing schedule and customer invoices. Obviously, not all the invoices for the entire period, but I think it was 3 months or 4 months of the invoices, like sample invoices for the period under review, which I've said is 1 July 2024 to 30 June 2025. And also worth noting is that Kwande implemented the previously approved maximum price of gas of 105 rand, 12 cents, as shown in Table 2 below, from June 2024 to January 2025. That was until the approval of the maximum price of 127.52, as shown in Table 1 above. The analysis of Kwande Gas pricing schedule together with the invoices indicates to us that the licensees charged prices that are below the approved maximum price in the period under review. I will now move on to the last section of this presentation, Section 14, which deals with the recommendations. Chairperson, we are satisfied that Kwande Gas has fully complied with the relevant sections of the Gas Act. And it is for this reason that we recommend that the Pipe Gas Committee approve that Kwande Gas has complied with Section 21(1)P of the Gas Act by charging its customers actual prices that are below the approved maximum prices in the period under review. And then on 14.2, we're saying that Kwanda Gas is a single customer, and therefore Section 22 of the Gas Act is not applicable in the period under review. Last Chairperson, I want to take you back to the agenda on item number 11 under the purpose column. I will see that we submitted this submission. Marked as for noting, and that's incorrect. I think that's an error on my side. I can confirm that this document is here for approval. So I think I needed to bring that to your attention, that this is here for approval. And I want to offer my sincere apologies for that, Chair. I will ensure that these type of errors are not repeated in the future. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Members, any questions of clarity? By show of hands, members, if you do have. If not, members, and also just in terms of the errors made, including on paragraph 10, this is a sort of a minor error there. The team will look into that. But the recommendations have been read out. Members, by show of hands, if you are in support of the recommendations for approval. Thank you, Madam Spear. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Advocate Sithole. Thank you, Mr. Bugula. I also support it. Thank you very much, members. That takes care of agenda item number 11. We are on agenda item number 12, which is the final assessment of SL-CNG Pty Ltd's application for a maximum price of gas. The period for that gas for the price is July 2025 up until 30 June 2026. Please introduce the matter.
Thank you, Chair. This submission is a final assessment for SL-CNG Pty Limited application for maximum price of gas for the period 1 July 2025 to 30 June 2026. The applicant is applying for a maximum price of 336.79, broken down in table 1, the cost of gas, trading cost, and the profit margin. The NESA and then the trading cost is shown at table 3. NESA analyzed the application, and then table 5 shows the calculations of NESA and SL-CNG and different and the differences there. I would like to highlight the difference, the overall difference. There's a minor, in fact, there's an error in 4.9, where the difference in the table and the paragraph they differ. This correction will be this will be corrected, Chair, before the submission moves further. SL-CNG, we've analyzed the application, and then we will find that the application, the difference in calculation is less than 10%, as shown in table 5. The detailed analysis is in the RFD. So I'd like to request the Pipe Gas Subcommittee to recommend to the energy regulator for the approval of this submission. The recommendation are highlighted in table in paragraph 14, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We must also just correct the delegated authority there. I'm sure Mr. Chokwe would not be happy there, because you said it is this subcommittee that has the authority, yet it is the energy regulator that must approve the maximum prices. So if you can change that to show that it is a recommendation by this committee, and then the energy regulator must approve. With that, members, I would like... I would like to invite members to engage on this submission. By show of hands, members, if there is any comments. Madam Spear.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you to the presenter. Chair, just a comment from my side on table 5, just the understanding of the methodology by the stakeholders out there, because I've seen quite a few times that the interpretation is usually different to what we as NESA say, and we confirm it by saying this is what the methodology say, and this is what also the stakeholders say, how they interpret it. So I wanted to ask the question, it's aligned with what I saw on that row that is B, to say how can that be different, that they believe that, I know that we are not SLCNG, but is there something in the methodology that is not clear enough that that value should not have been that? For me, I'm asking to say, is the methodology very specific, or let me not use words maybe that can assume that SLCNG is taking chances. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying that, do we have a methodology that is very clear? Because a difference of close to 60% for me is a concern if we are looking at the same document, which is very clear to say what constitutes working capital. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Spear. Mr. Mkhize.
Thank you, Chairperson. I've got two issues. One is related to what Madam Spear said, to say that if you look at line B, what is it that you are doing to ensure that there is a kind of converging towards the common figure, roughly the same. What is it that we are doing to try to look at matters that pertain to working capital determination or calculation, such that that margin of difference is reduced? And then secondly, just want to understand, you're looking at the period until June 2026. Is the price going to automatically adjust on a quarter-to-quarter basis as the acquisition cost increase or change, like that, as the cost of gas changes, or it remains fixed for the whole year? Just wanted to get confirmation and clarity around that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Can you please respond?
Thank you, Chair. I'll start with the working capital, the difference. The applicant has used the forecasted figure, the budget figure. So what we have done when we are analyzing, we've adjusted that figure that was given by the applicant and applying it in terms of what the methodology says it should be calculated. That is why we have that difference. So it is the difference in calculation. They have used their forecasted figure that they use in their budget. So I've taken the budgeted amount that they have applied for and applied the calculations as per our methodology. That's what I have done in calculating that difference. But normally when we receive the audited financial statements, that figure gets adjusted through the clawback mechanism when they apply in the following year. And then that difference gets adjusted through the clawback mechanism. Then the second one.
Ms. Makoda also had her hand up before you go to the second one. Ms. Makoda.
Yes, Chairperson, I want to add on what Ms. Sigenu is saying. in terms of our methodology, we have said that we will use 45 days. But if the applicant believes that they can use any other number of days, they are allowed to do so, but they must provide justification or evidence. In this case, they didn't justify their use of different figures, and that is why we then had to default it back to our own methodology. Now, in terms of the understanding of the methodology itself, Chair, this is not the first time that SLCNG is applying for the maximum price of gas, and all throughout the years, they have been complying with our requirements. It so happened that this year they used different figures, and before the submission was submitted to the PGS, we did have an engagement with them, Chairperson, just to make sure that they are fine and that there is additional justification provided. In the working capital case, Chair, we also provided them with our draft calculation and our draft assessment, and they were happy with the way that we have done our assessment. So I believe that they do understand the methodology. The challenge was providing justification on their figures that they have provided. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Makota. Mr. Kenu, please proceed.
Okay. The second point that was asked by Mr. Mkhize is the adjustment. They have applied for quarterly adjustment. We've got it under paragraph 4.7 that SLCNG is applying for quarterly adjustment on the GE in line with their underlying supplier. So this price will be adjusted on a quarterly basis, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you.
Okay. Madam Spear, are you happy with the response? I think there was a detailed response clarifying the matter and that they have done it properly even in the previous year. And they were also shown where they did not do it right this year. Are you happy with that, Madam Spear?
Chair, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Thanks from the team.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mkhize, are you also satisfied with is the answer adequate to address your concern?
Yeah, my question has been adequately addressed. It's just that on the issue of trying to converge with the applicants in regard to this, maybe the issue of pre-application discussions will also help, because really when you've got such a huge difference, it's concerning, although they do have that liberty. But if there is enough explanation provided to them, then I'm content with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkhize. The team will take note of that. But also, it's important just to note that these applicants sometimes do that, and this one is not the first one. Even though they have done it right previously, sometimes when they do their own budget and want to arrive at a projected target of the revenue, they tend to deviate from what the methodology requires. We have seen that with other licensees as well. Thank you very much. Members, we are on the decision part, which is paragraph 40. The Pipe Gas Subcommittee is requested to recommend to the energy regulator to approve SLCNG maximum price for the period starting 1st July 2025 to 30 June 2026, and also to approve this as a decision, as well as the reasons for decision that are attached on Annexure A of this submission. By show of hands, members, and this is subject to the corrections from and the clarification that has been provided. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Madam Spear. Thank you, Mr. Pukula. Thank you, Advocate Sitole. I also support. We have now come to the end of the deliberations of the reports in the public domain, and I would like to thank the members of the public that have tuned in to follow our deliberations on these matters. we are now going to stop the live streaming so that we can